Abhi, you there?
Yes, yes, I'm there. Let me share my screen. Guys, 1 minute, please. Let me know once you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen, Abhi.
So everybody can hear me? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Uh, let's talk about the overview of TM. So, so when talking about the Treasury and I mean, normally we call it as a TRM module. So what is the TRM stand for? TRM stand for Treasury and Risk Management. So if you see the organizational structure of the TRM team, it would be divided into two. One would be the TRM Treasury team, and there will be a risk management team. So when you're talking about the Treasury team, so Treasury team is basically doing all short activities like, let's say they do the executions of the deal, then they, do the validations of the deal. If we're talking about simple example, we uh, fixed term deposit or the term deposits. So what happened? The first, there will be a team who will go to the bank and get the quotation to provide the best deal of that, like best interest on their investments. And after that, they choose the base quote, and then what will happen? They started doing the investments. When you do the investment, there is so many documentation are there. Like when you fill up, in SAP, those deals are getting filled in called deals. In these, all the details of the contract would be there, like what would the amount of investment, what would be the rate of interest rate, what would be the calculations methods, what kind of valuations are there, from which house bank the payment will go. And then there will be another team after you create the deal. And guys, don't worry if you don't understand the jargon, deal, and I'm just giving kind of overview. You all going to understand what is deal and what is all about. So there will be another team. Let's say, I'll give you an example. Like when you go to the bank to open a fixed deposit, what will happen? You basically fill up the form and give it to the front office desk team. Correct, no? Then what will happen? The form, they will send it to their middle office team, right? Back office team use. They will check all the details of the form, and after that, they will send the consent to do the account. So similarly, in the treasury also, it will happen. There would be front office. The structure of the organization is something like that. There would be front office, there would be middle office, and the back office. Okay. So front office team would, let's say, create investment deal, and there is middle office team who will do the validations, like where all the deals which you enter in the deal or contract, it's all fine. So now once they find everything is done, all the details correctly mentioned in the deal, in the contract, so they will do kind of called settlement of it. So once you settle a deal, only after that there is a concept of cash flows which get released, and that and the particular deal is ready to do the accounting posting. Okay. So what is the middle front office team will do? Create a new deal, contract, exercise right, expiration of the deal, rollover. Oh, rollover means suppose you have done one investment, let's say for 6 months, and the 6 month is let's say today. Now they feel that the money is not required at all. I mean, maybe they can further do investments. What they do? they can extend the term deposit. They will talk to the bank and say, my investment I don't require now, even though my investment term is expired. I want further invest for 2 months. So that is called rollover. Similarly, in case something is wrong in the deal, in the cash flows, they can something rate of interest is not properly maintained. So what they do, they need to reverse the deal if there is anything wrong. No? You may say that what is a middle office team? I'm saying maybe they are creating, they realize something is wrong. So in that case, you can reverse the deal also. What the middle office team will do, middle office do, as I mentioned, that whatever created by front office, the deal, that will be validated by the middle office team. Whether terms from conditions are fine or not, the rate of interest are okay or not. Okay, all this, and after that, they will do the settlement of the deal. Back office team basically do some kind of posting in the sense, as I mentioned, like in the FICO, you may do the posting manually also, like FB50, FB60, like. But what is happening in the treasury, we don't do those things manually. So there's we do the configuration in such a way that all the posting will be happening automatically. Means there is a process. We do not do real posting like that. So all this posting is kind of an activities which we define under the schedule job, and via that when we run the job, it's called EBB1 or accrual postings, month and any other activities. Those automatic posting will be done. Now, uh, before the master data, just quickly to show you in system how basically TRM models look like, what are the deals of that. So let me go here. So guys, in case if you don't able to understand or anything, feel free to ask question. So 1 minute. Let me open the system. Yeah, I'll show me time. It is. So can you all see my screen? SAP screen? Guys, can you all able to see my
Yes.
SAP screen?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. So, um,
Very small. Can you enlarge it?
I don't know. For me, it's a very
Uh,
completely.
Sushant, you have to maximize from your end. Like there is an option called zoom in and zoom out at right hand side of your uh,
Yeah.
screen.
Got it, got it, got it.
Okay,
Got it. Okay, thank
excellent.
you.
Mm.
Okay, okay. So anybody has got this kind of issues? Okay, I think no. So now treasury is basically part of financial supply chain management. So under the financial supply chain management, SAP has included so many things. Like if you're talking about the financial supply chain management, it has got a collection management, credit management, dispute management, billet direct. Okay, even in-house cash management is also part of FSCM. But our main area is this treasury and risk management. Even the BCM is also part of financial supply chain management. Okay. So when you're talking about the treasury and risk management, so basically this is the main thing called transaction manager. Under transaction manager, you can see all these details. Like they have created different folders for money market, forex, securities, derivatives, OTC, trainers. Now this is the only new thing in S4 HANA. In previously, if you go to the your ECC, you do not find the trade finance was there. So at that point of time, now you may be thinking like, you know, under trade finance, what are the things? Okay, before I tell you, so under trade finance, there is a product called letter of credit and the bank guarantee. So you may be having a questions like, the letter of credit was there in the previously, like so. how they have done that. So what happened in the ECC time, let's say the product is not there, but client if has a requirement, so what we do some enhancement in the product. I mean, we did the enhancement, we take in some product and accordingly design a screen so that all the requirement gets fulfilled. But in SAP S4 HANA, now there's no need or all those things as customization or enhancement. In SAP S4 HANA, SAP has bring up those letter of credit and bank guarantee under the trade finance module. So all the modules you're going to learn everything. You're going to test. You can configure the system in a way that, like after taking this training, I'm not going to give you only these trade finance. I'm going to show you all the areas like money market, foreign exchange, securities, derivative, trade finance. And as I told you earlier, the configurations of treasury, it's very similar. If you know one product to configure, you also know how to configure the other products. So now when you go for an interview, the interviewer will ask you what is the configuration step. They may ask you any of the 8 product type and ask you the configuration. The configuration is all same. If you do the product type called money market, you can see almost the configurations is same for derivatives or securities or trade finance. All configurations are same. So now the questions come. What are the interviews ask you a questions? So in the treasury module, they will all ask the business processes, business scenarios. And to test your knowledge, they may ask you, could you please tell me the configuration step? Yes. So your configuration step would be similar for all product. So as I said, if you know one, you can answer. So mostly your assessing would be happening based on the business process understanding. So that's the reason in my previous section I told you we not only going to understand blindly the configurations like I 1 minute. What we're going to take care of that, we understand the business process. The first thing we understand the business process. Then the next things we'll understand how to form an accounting. Okay. Here, the most important concept is an accounting. First is business process, second is accounting, and third is reporting. Okay. So if you know all these things, you understand if you understand all this. So most important part in the treasury, you have to understand business process, you have to understand accounting, you have to understand the reporting. If the 3 aspect you understand, then nobody can stop you in the interview round. As I told you, I have given a training to a person who don't know even SAP, and their performance was much better. I was thinking, I'm giving a training, whether they will perform. But believe me, all they have cleared their interview, toughest interview with SAP TRM. Okay. Because you think of it like person who don't know in a SAP, they don't know posting rule, they don't know anything. The first time they are, accessing the system, all are, having a 2 3 years domain experience. That's it. So because how I'm teaching you, I have also done the similar thing. I've shown the business process. I've asked them, like, if this particular thing is happening, if this cash flow is happening, what is the accounting? You form the accounting equations. And then I'll show them, this is how we can configure the accounting into the derivations logic or account determinations. So, and the reporting. And all the time, the interview questions would be in these areas. What is the business process? What is the accounting and reporting? And I told you configurations would be same for all. So now what are the things I'm going to include here? This is the things after, when I'm going to the configurations, I'll not only I will make you understand each and every processes, all the configuration step in details. So configuration steps I'm going to discuss in details. Okay, so that you understand end-to-end configuration. Configuration. Okay. After you understand the end-to-end configurations, you understand what is the end-to-end process, right from the creation of deal to the settlement, to the TBB1, to the month-end activities, to the withholding tax calculation, anything. All the things you understand in details manners. Okay. So when you're talking about the any products, like if you the screens are like you can see the our first topic would be money market, then we go to the foreign exchange, then we go to the securities, then we go to the derivatives, and then finally the trade finance. And after that, I told you I'll also take care of the bank communication management and cash management, and I'll give you the overview of IHC. So cash management, then bank communication management, okay, which is called BCM, and I'll give you overview of IHC. Why I said overview? I cannot make the system ready because it requires a lot of stuff from the securities perspective. I need a basis consultant. I need a above consultant. So anyway, that and IHC is a different. Even if I in future I'm planning to start IHC, I will definitely let you know. But in this, I mean the thing, I'll make you good understanding of IHC process. But understand, I'm not going to do the end-to-end IHC things. No, that is not the agenda of this or purpose of this. So you basically come here to learn treasury, and these are the bit bonus topic. Okay,
Okay. And in TRM, ISC is not a part of TRM, right?
correct. But we going to understand now. Now it's a good questions. Now I don't know how you have. I mean, many times I even if you go for an interview in the ENY or the PwC, okay, or any other
Hmm.
KPMG, mostly they will ask you whether you know the IHC process, because the TRM nowadays is not a TRM only. Okay, so the thing is, even if you go for hardcore treasury I mean interviews, these are the common thing they will ask you, because the treasury team is basically dealing with the cash management, and bank communication management also associated with that. Because previously what happened was, at the time of F110, when sorry, I mean when we in scenario like there is no BCM is implemented, right? So at that point
Hmm.
of time, what happened was, the treasury team, after you make the payment, the file would be lying in the server. Let's say you initiate the payment, DMA generated, file will be there in the server. In that point of time, once the payment done run, DME sent to the bank, the treasury team will go to the bank's portal and they will do the approval of the payment. And only after that, the bank will make the payment to the files against that particular instruction, standing instructions file.
Hmm.
But now what happened now, all the approval process, they need not to go to that approval mechanism. Now treasury team, they have, using bank communication management, they can do all sort of approval inside the SAP. They need not to go to the again bank portal to do that manual approval and all such. So that's the reason they are expecting you to be a understand on the bank communication management. So cash management and bank communication management is a very small topic, but they are expecting you to understand
Hmm.
cash management, bank communication management, these two things. IHC, if you say I don't know, it's all fine. But the moment you say, yes, I know little bit of it. I mean, see what happened is, first of all, you need not to be very frank with the interviewers, because they want the people who knows everything. Even if you don't know IHC, you'd say rather, okay, I have an understanding, I have a process understanding, I can, then it would be much better. So when I'm taking care of overview, I'll make you understand how the entire process is all about, all the scenarios. When I'm talking about the IHC, I will discuss about the scenario called POBO. Okay, it's called payment on behalf of,
Mhm.
payment on behalf. Then I'll discuss about the scenarios uh, called netting, intercompany netting. I'll discuss about scenarios uh, sorry, mm, called direct debit, most popular direct debit from customer, direct debit scenario for customer perspective. Okay, and fourth would be that called robo, receipt on behalf of, or sometimes called kobo, collection on behalf of. Okay, receipt or collection on behalf of. Sorry, my mouse is not moving properly. Receive on behalf. Hmm. There, okay, these all the scenarios I will discuss. Not only how this work, and I also discuss EOD process, like end of the day activities. So there are many as end of the day activities. Example one is uh, F9 B1. So it's called posting cutoff date. Okay. Then there's another activities called B. It's called generation, generating, generating what? Generating of internal bank statement. Okay. I'll discuss about the C call, uh, posting of bank statement, posting of internal bank statement. Okay. Then there will be process called F991. It's a calculation of the charges. I forgot that exact name, but F9N1, you can see it here. So if you go to that, okay. So this is called initial screen for account balancing. We call it as in calculation account balancing, calculation of charges. So via this, all the calculation being done, and then you'd be F9HI posting to GL. So all these things I'll discuss so that you have a complete understanding how the IHC process all about. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll
Even
discuss
I
about
able
the
to
EOD
see.
process. Haha, tell me, tell me.
Yes. So even those concept or those POBO, those details I able to see in their job description.
Huh. Where
Yeah.
job description?
Like if any opening is coming for TRM or supply chain finance, so there I able to see such a details.
Ah, exactly, exactly. Who is saying that?
Yeah.
What's your name, by the way?
Uh, Amit Patil.
Okay. Hi, Amit. Yes, yes. So
Hi.
that's what I'm just giving an information to you all. Like,
Yeah.
if you're going for any interview of TRM, these
Hmm.
are the additional thing they are expecting you to know.
Yeah.
Expecting you to know. Like cash management is a must, I would say. BCM is a must. IHC, you can say, yes, I have worked, I have an understanding. If you're able to speak out all of these things, and I'm sure, I mean, you know, after I discuss in details, like how the GL posting happen, how the messages goes to IHC center, I
Hmm.
think you able to explain to the interviewer that you know much more than the others.
Okay.
Okay. Believe me or not, now to make you that much, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have gone many places in initial days. Nowhere I found that kind of comprehensive information any training is giving. I don't know. You can check out. Nobody. I mean, if you ask, well, in the TRM session, I wanted to know the overview. Nobody. So since
Mhm.
as I told you, my training is not my like kind of earning, but it's kind of a passion for me, so that I want you to understand each and everything on the IHC process. So I'll
Yes,
discuss
sir.
in a detail so you can able to understand what is EOD. If they asking, see, normally what people will do, you go to they will say this is the POB pro, but interviewer also ask you after doing all the things, what is the EOD activities and why we perform the EOD activities. So
Mhm.
only then they will understand that you know the subject better than that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll not only discuss the process, I'll also discuss about the EOD process, how it works, how exactly it works. I'll make you understand. Okay. Any questions, guys? Any doubt here?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Let me go to okay.
Sorry,
So we need.
may I have one
Please.
question?
Yeah, please, please.
You mentioned F9B1 posting cutoff. It shouldn't be there another steps F9L4 to block all posting, all positions for posting before you are going to generate, I don't know, charges and GL account posting.
Yes, that is not a mandatory.
Aha, okay. I thought
Just
that
try
that
and
is
check
this
that.
step.
No, no.
Okay,
Okay, you
good.
try and check. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, no. Thank you. Okay, we'll discuss about that one particular thing. So our today's topic would be sorry. Today's topic would be discuss some of the things. Okay, to overview kind of understanding. Let's we talk about the now. If you go to the SPRO screen, Financial Supply Chain Management, Treasury and Risk Management, and you can see Transaction Manager and Money Market. So I will also discuss in details like what are the configuration steps all about. Okay. Okay, let's go to the transaction manager, transaction management product type. Now, if you see that the standard configurations of all the products are this one. First is define product type, transaction type, flow type, update types, condition type. These are the standard configuration steps. And assign general valuation class that will come at the end. But these are the standard configurations. First, we're going to discuss about the product type, then the transaction type, define transaction type, then flow type, define flow type, then assign flow type with the transaction type. If there is any derived flow, if any, update types. So these are the standard configuration for all the products, whether you're talking about the money market or securities or the derivatives or trade finance. These configuration steps are all same. So that's a reason I basically segregate the configuration of the SAP TRM into two. The thing would be I'll divide it. One would be the product level configuration, and second would be the account determination level configuration. Okay. So I distribute it. It's not an SAP. I segregate the configuration in a way that one is product level configuration that would be done and that would be standard for all, and account determination configuration. This is also more standard for all. Okay. So these are the two. So it's all same. So if you know one product, you understand all other products. And believe me, after this training, you can able to configure any of the products by your own. Okay. because that much of details I'll discuss in that extensive level, so that you can able to understand. You can configure from the scratch, end to end, do the testing, everything. Okay. So yes, so the first thing is, before I start, so this is when you're talking about the any configuration called product level configuration. The first things which comes to the thing is configuration is called define product type. Okay. So you can see there are so many product type: 51A, 52B, 53A. So these are the various product type all about. Now, when you're talking about these are called standard SAP provided. Okay. We do not use this product type normally in our any project. We do not use that. We copy this product type and create our own. Let's say example, we copy this, always say TD1, term deposit, TD, term deposit, something, I'll give it, so you could term deposit within 6 months, less than 6 months, or more than 6 months, like, okay. Like that, we can go and create it our own product. Okay. Now I might not have given TRM. So now when you're talking about the product type, let's say what the product type we have defined, sorry, 51A. So when you go inside to the product type, this is the product type number. This is the text of the number. Like, what is the product type belongs to? It is a part of fixed term deposit. You can see it here, fixed term deposit, the short text. Now, this is called product category. Now, if you go and see the product category 510 for fixed term deposit, 520, 530, 540. For different product type, there is a product category. Now, the question is, can you create the product category? Can you configure the product category? Answer is no. Another things to give you all information, most of the times in the interview, they ask you to manipulate, to understand how much you know the subject. They will ask you, okay, Amit, tell me, how do you go and configure product category? How do you configure the product category? They will ask you, because this is what they feel, that this is one of the I mean, very kind of an interview questions to all, very important interview questions. They will always ask to assess
Mhm.
you whether you have a really knowledge or not. So answer to the
Okay.
question is, product category cannot be defined, cannot be created. It is defaulted by the SAP, and we have to use that SAP defaulted product category. Nowhere in the configuration you find there is a place for maintain or configure product category. Okay,
Mhm.
sounds fine. So you can
Mm,
write it down. The product category cannot be configured. We have to
mhm.
use SAP standard product category. Okay.
But sir, we able to see there like a field where we able to input the number. So only number we
Where?
can input, or yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, this.
This is
Okay,
this is the number
okay,
provided
okay,
by the SAP default. For that
okay.
number, you
Understood
do
now.
not find any configuration step. That is my
Yes,
point.
yes, yes. Understood
Okay.
now.
So definitely
Yeah.
when you create the product category, see, for that, for every product category, SAP already defined. We have, see, this is the standard product category 51A. You can see the
Mhm.
product category defined by the SAP.
Yes.
This product category 510. Clear? Guys, clear? Or you have any question?
Clear to
Okay.
me, sir.
And how about the others? Remember, this is one of the interview questions. How do you going to create the product category? The answer is, we cannot create the product category because product
Yes.
category defaulted by SAP, and we're going
Yeah.
to use. We cannot create. There's no settings been defined to create the product category, because they find that if something is wrong here, the entire product system would be corrupted. Like that's the reason they feel some kind of risk, and that's the reason they have not given this access, that there are no configuration step for that. Okay, these are called the screen call interest calculation methods. Okay, now there are various interest calculation methods. You can see 360, 365A, 360C, 360. This is what is called whenever you go to the bank and go for an investment to the bank have their interest calculation methods. Normally, we do not configure it here. We do not configure it here. I tell you the reason. Why? If you configure it here, what will happen at the time of creation of the deal, it will get defaulted. But despite of the fact, we do not define as a default. I tell you a reason. See, the interest calculation methods bank to bank, it varies. Like, because we are talking about the globally, we are not talking about the India, SBI, Axis Bank, ICICI. When you're talking about the configuration at the global level, because this configuration you are doing at the client level, product type. Now, it is not necessary the way Indian banks calculating the interest rate. It may not be calculated. Similar fashion, a bank, Citibank in US will calculate the similar way the interest calculations. No. So that's the reason it is always suggestible. Do not take anything interest calculation methods. Okay. Effective interest calculation method. I don't know. As for my 10 years, almost 8, 9 years of experience, I've never seen anything being done effective interest methods being configured. So I don't know particularly that part. I've never seen any client is using that one. Mostly seen interest calculation methods. Okay. So these are the things and another thing is when you configure for a client, the suggestion would be you should not use the standard product type. You have to sit with the client, understand their requirement, and based on that, you always copy the product type and create your own. Let's say your client is looking for a two different kind of investment. Example I'm giving, one term investment. Okay. One would be more than 6 months, and another term investment less than 6 months. Okay. So what you're going to do that? We going to create the configure or in a way that, so it's example, as I said, less than 6 months. So what I'll do, I'll copy another product. It would be, okay, I, 1 minute. Instead of giving, I would say, term deposit, I'll use, oh, sorry. I should not be use, my goodness. So here, when you copy that, you mention is fixed term deposit more than 6 months, or it's a less than 6 months. Like that, you can say less than 6 months. And let's say another product you wanted to create, you can copy from here, or always suggested to copy from the main product let's say TD2, term deposit 2. I've just given an example. Not necessary you should, okay, just say more than 6 months. Okay, that's it, done. So like that, you can configure based on the requirement of that. Okay. So any questions, anything? So this is just kind
Yes.
of an example I have given. This is one of the things. When you're talking about the TRM products, there are a lot of things are there. Like, let's go to that. Like this is the org structure. Okay, so before I go to that, anybody has got any questions?
Yes, sir. I have one question regarding to
Mhm.
money market. So when we are discussing about interest calculation method, so we able to see it's already defined over there, and within that defined method we able to use, right? Or we able to create like a new interest
No,
calculation
all the
method.
products, all the details have been given, all the things. So whatever the interest calculation methods are there, SAP has
Yeah,
provided all sort of details. It will not go
yeah.
beyond
So
that.
okay, which mean it's kind of same like a product category.
Type, category, correct.
Yeah, right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I never check, any others, like, if it is going beyond that. You have any scenario
Mhm.
where you have to, find other than this calculation? Because this is what the
No,
global
whatever.
setting.
Yes, yes. Whatever I am doing like interest calculation method, so those calculation I able to see like the 30 divided by
Correct.
360, 65, and
Exactly.
so on.
See,
Yeah.
these are the standard interest calculation methods. I mean, believe all these things we basically use 365.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
so
In
many
India.
companies they're using Act 360, 365. So it's all depends. So what happened when you're doing at the first time, you have to go and see all the interest calculation methods. Like if there is a help document for that. Sorry, you can see it here.
Hmm.
All these details has been given. 365, all this.
Yes.
Okay. So now, apart from that, there is an important things in the TRM. It's called business partner. So when you're talking about the money market product, we use the BP role. It's not like in your vendor, your customer role. in in TRM, we are basically referring to our banks as a business partner. And this business partner, which we are referring as a bank, our business partner, they are not our regular business partner. They are not our customer and vendor. And that's the reason we normally call them as a counterparty role, which is the call BP roll call TR015. TR0. 1 minute, I forgot that one. Let's me go to the BP. And first, let me check it out. Go to the table level and BUT 100. This is the table where you can go and check uh, TR0 to TR0151. Yes, counterparty role. Let me see that if there is any, okay, created. So now I'll go to the BP, not copied. No default has been given. Let me see that. Okay. Now this is most important point of view. So when you go and create this, okay, this has not been extended. Okay, counterparty. Now in the counterparty, we normally create it as a bank as a counterparty, whom we have to do this particular, investments. You can see here the most important part is payment transactions. Okay, it's not given, and the company code. These are the fields which is important. Call SI payment details, SI correspondence, SI authorization, SI derived flow. What do you mean by SI? SI is for standing instructions. Okay. So these are the things, and we normally, I don't know how many of you have worked in implementation project. You cannot find any template to upload the things. Either you can do with a very LSMW. I don't know. I have never used LSMW. We use BAPI for that. We use BAPI to upload all the details of all the segments. Okay. of this particular detail. So first we upload the general data segment, and then we upload these basically segment details. Okay, via the BAPI. Now let me see if there is anything. Okay, 2424. Okay, nothing has been given. So now this is most important. Here you give the details of the currency. If the investment is in INR or investment is in USD, what would be the house bank, via which payment to be done, whether you use payment request into that. All these details you can update into the this particular business partner BP role. So we not only going to create a new BP role after doing the configurations, and we will see how the assignment is happening. So here in that TRM, um, when you're talking about the general data segments, you have to give the details of the bank details. Credit profile, yes, if you are using some kind of credit risk analyzer, you have to update the credit profiles, all the details, but most importantly, payment transaction details. And as I mentioned, these are the most important SI payment details, then authorization, derived flow, all these details you have to define it here. And based on your configuration only, this BP, all that fields, even there is a lot of others, like you have to, after assignment you can default in house bank. So I will tell you all the details. So most important thing is the counterparty role for our initial topic. Now you can see the counterparty, the field is coming. Okay, let me go to the option. Keys. Okay, I'll go here, BP. Now you see here, now TR0151. So if something is not coming, I don't know whether you know all these things, but this is the place where you can go and select this. Only then this input details will come. Okay, this is the thing, just for your information. Okay. And after you assign, there is an option called assignment. In my recent project, I face an issue. See, when you're trying to do that, the assignment is not happening. I'll discuss in details. So we thought something is wrong. Then we find out there is an SAP node that has to be implemented to make this particular assignment feel active. This problem I have faced in 2021, in S4HANA 2021. I will share you the SAP node details that may help you in future, like if you are working in your current organization, to know that what is the SAP node which required to activate. There is a flaws, there is some kind of bugs. So because of these bugs, you have to make some implement a node to make this assign field works. It may be working in the demo system, but in S4HANA real 2020, sorry, not 2021, we are implementing, there we find this issue. Okay, so this is the details you have to send it based on that. So what is happening when you create an investment? So the first is business processes coming into picture. How the business process is all about. Let's say you have some of the cash lying idle, and there's a treasury team who find that, so this cash we may not require for maybe another 3 months or the 6 month. Once they find this ideal cash is lying, so AP team will find and say that this is the thing, and they will send the details to the treasury team. Treasury team will again further analyze, and then they find, okay, this cash may not required immediately. It would be lying idle, so we can do some investment. Now, this investment will come with the investment policy. Now, when you take an investment, like, if you're talking about any government organizations, any, I mean, like, a government undertaking, they have a strict policy, like they cannot invest their money into the mutual funds. Okay. But when you're talking about any private companies, the policies would maybe differ. They, they do not have such kind of restrictions. So again, the investment whether to do with the bank or to do with the mutual funds, it's governed by the investment policy of the company. Okay. So investment policy, we cannot configure the investment policy, but yes, based on the investment policy, they will go accordingly. Let's say we're talking about that. I mean, they will take a decision whether to do the investment in a secured bank. Like if you're talking about any government organization in India, their uh, preferred choice to do the investment would be only uh, the commercial bank run by the government. Okay, so maybe SBI or any other company. Mostly, I've seen many companies are doing that because they feel that the when you're talking about the investment policies of the corporate, any corporate, like if you're talking about the government organizations, because this is money, public's money, so that's the reason they take care of utmost care so that investment should not go away. There should not be any risks on associated with that. So they always prefer with their investment policies. Okay. Now, okay. So, okay. I'll not go with the PPT details of much, but I just wanted to tell you all the details. Like, uh, there are various tables if you wanted to see that, BUT, BK, BUT 100, you know, like that. When you're talking about the IHC, when you're talking about the BP role type will get changed. It would be BKK 010. Okay. Then BKK 020, BKK 030. These are the various BP role. And where you going to see, there's a table called BUT 100. There you can go and see all your changes. I mean, all your partner rules. Okay. Now let's talk about that, SAP TRM. So guys, any questions? Any questions, anything?
Yes, sir. Uh, Regarding to like a company creation and business partner, so this will already like done by Pico consultant, and we just only align this TRM module over there, right?
Yes, yes. Thank you for the
Or
questions. Yes, yes, you're right. So basically, enterprise structure would be created by the FICO consultant, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
in our things, we have to understand all the things. So in training, we going to maintain, do the activities of all the enterprise structure so that the
Mm-hmm.
system is ready to adopt TRM. So in order
Okay.
to configure the system, you first have to create company code, uh, group of account, and all this time. Like I'm talking about this one, enterprise structure.
Yeah.
So to do the configuration, you have to do edit company code, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then, 1 minute, please. So, all the enterprise structure creation, we're going to do that. We're going to configure our enterprise structure into the system so that
Mm-hmm.
everybody can understand. I mean, I hope in this batch, everybody from the FICO background or other.
Mm, no, actually, I am the from like a SAP end user, end user.
Okay.
So I do
So
not
no
know how
problem.
to
No worries.
it's yeah,
So if you're an end user, you understand it, all the configuration stuff inside that.
yeah.
So how many of you are from non-SAP background? Is there anyone who has not worked in SAP, or everybody is already working in the SAP? Guys, please say something.
Guys, unmute yourself and speak out.
Yes, I am from it.
So my
I'm
question
from
is, all are from SAP?
Yes,
Okay, okay. Fine, fine then. So we'll understand. We know the enterprise structure. So we'll configure everything. And after doing all the configuration of the enterprise structure, then we start coming to the organization structure. So like FICO, in Treasury also, you have to have an organization structure. I'll show you that. Under Transaction Manager, General Settings, and you can see this organization. So now these are the various organization structure, and not only that, there would be another organization structure. You can see that accounting, and you can see another organization structure. So these are the basic comes under basic org structure of the TRM. So when you're talking about the organization structure, let me go here. Okay, no, there's nothing. So I'm not going to do anything. I mean, let me start. Okay, so you can see that this is one of the organization structure. This term start with this company, company code details, fixed year variant, chart of account. So up to these things, this particular
Mhm.
configurations is basically coming from the FI enterprise structure. Because if you go to the OBY6, if you go to the transaction code called OBY6 called global parameter, you can see all these details like your chart of account, INT, it's defined here. You can see it from here. Your fiscal area variant, all these details, V3, all these details basically coming from the SI FI enterprise structure. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi. Tell me.
Question. Just double click on this company code. Yes. Yeah. That
Tell
is
me.
the script code. This script code is
Correct.
not maintained for company code in the finance side FICO. So because every company have
Correct.
more than
No,
one.
that's what I
So
said. That's what I said. Up to this area, not this area.
my
Means
question
company
is
code data only. It's coming from the enterprise
yes.
structure. This is not the part of company code enterprise structure.
It's okay. But my question is that why you maintain the script? Every company have more than one.
Correct. Every company have got a more than one sweep code. So you need not to define it here. See, this is one example they have given,
Okay.
sweep code,
Yeah,
but
I
it
got it.
is not a mandatory, like when you send the DME
Hmm.
or, this
Yeah.
will not, because normally, when you make the payment,
Yeah.
where
That's
are you
why
going to define the sweep code?
in the
It
banking
could
system.
be, where you basically define it at the,
Bank master.
yes, under FI03, right? FI03, if I go, I mean FI01. So if
Yes. If I,
I go here, let's
yeah.
say,
Yeah. That yes. The third one.
correct, no? So basically the sweep code would be maintained here, sweep code. So when you create the DME, you're not going to take it from the, where you're not going to take it from that, organization structure. You basically take the, all you guys know what is the DME, data medium exchange.
I don't know.
Basically, when you send the payment file to the bank, there is an config, like, how you, because you create the DME, the structure, like when you, every bank has their own DME format. On that format only, you have to give these details. So basically, the sweep code would be taken from the bank key. Clear? Are you guys aware about the DME configurations?
No.
Okay, okay, no worries. If you don't know, we'll
Yeah,
discuss it
I'm
later.
aware of DME configuration.
Okay, so ideally, so did I answer your questions, like where from that sweep code would be taking? Hello?
So my question is here actually. When we
Huh.
need to input like for a particular deal, a Swift code, so at that
Mhm.
time how we have to input?
No, you don't ask me now. You go it at
Uh-huh.
the time when you configure this thing, it will come from the house bank. It will come from the
Okay.
house bank. So, as I told you, we create a counterparty, BP counterparty, and then you can see that house bank would be defined there, right? You can house
Mm-hmm.
ban an account ID. This house
Yeah.
ban an account ID which you are using for making the payment, like what will happen? Now,
Mm-hmm.
let's say you have to have a payment of 1000 crore investment you're going to do. Are you going to take the
Mm-hmm.
money to the bank? No. I mean,
Mm.
physically, are you going to take 1000 crore in the bag?
Mm.
No.
No.
How are you going to do that? So there is a
Okay.
process altogether. You
Mm-hmm.
first, when you do the investment, that would be done via the F111. Okay.
Okay.
So the process would be something like, okay, let me open the Excel. So let's say you first create a deal, right? Then the
Yep.
settlement of the deal. Then what will happen? Then accounting posting happen, TBB1. And when you execute the TBB1, then payment request will be generated. Then what will happen? And in payment request, like in F110, in Treasury, we are not using F110, we use F111. So F111 only understand payment request key. So based on the payment request key, Treasury, automatic Treasury payment. F111. So what will happen? There is another step, sorry, before that, called F8BT. So F8BT is a transaction, so via which they will go and see all the open payment request. I'll show you F8BT. Okay, so here, if you go and execute the company, it will show you all the open payment request, if there is at all. After that, what happened? Based on the payment request, whatever the open payment request, Treasury team will make the automatic payment. Then what will happen? Once you do the thing, DME file will generate and send to the bank. Right? So your payment will go via the F111 to the bank. Actual payment, the 1000 crore investment, what you're going to do, that would be done via the bank. So this is the process all about. DME will generate and that payment instruction. So based on that, the bank will debit the money or whatever we will make the payment to the bank based on our account. So whatever house bank we have chosen, based on that, bank will take out the money and that way the payment would be done. So this is the process all about. So automatic via automatic payment program only, F111, the actual payment will go to the bank. Clear? So don't worry if you do not understand these things at this point of time. When you do the configure the system, you'll understand each and everything clearly. How the payment request to be done, what is the configuration of payment request, everything you come to know. Okay. So any other questions, guys?
No, sir.
Okay. So after the DME, then that EBS will come, electronic bank statement, that will clear the open item, and this is all the process about. And then there will be process called month and activities. Okay, month and activities. So that also will understand, configure accordingly, and derive flow. If that also we see everything, like whatever the required things required, all the things we try to see without payment request how the posting would be. And once you understand the posting without automatic, then we activate the automatic payment request. Remember, in Treasury, everything would be done via the payment request. So to better understanding, I will try to show you first without payment request configuration, and then I can activate the payment request and show you how the posting will change when you activate the payment request. Okay. So guys, any further questions before I move to that other thing?
May I have one question, please?
Yeah, please.
When you go back to SAP, there is the house bank and account. This is the house bank of which party? Of the counterparty or my side?
Our side, no, because payment would be done by the our side, right? So our bank
So
things.
our bank account. Okay. Good.
Correct,
Thank
correct,
you.
correct. Our bank, because payment would be done by us.
Yes, but we are going to pay someone, so we need their bank account as well, no?
So I tell you, if that is the case, okay, let me show you. So in the counterparty,
Mhm.
this house bank would be defined like by which house bank I am going to make the payment to this counterparty.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Now
Thank you.
coming to the general data segment, what are your questions? This is the details of the bank account.
Mhm.
Clear? This is the banks. This, let's say this is a Citibank US. This is the bank account of the Citibank. Where you're going to maintain. But this portion of the details, it's talking about the when I'm making the payment. See here what is mentioned. Standing instructions means by which I'm going to make the payment. Bank, I have to make the payment via the bank by my house bank only. No.
Yes, you are right. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So, okay, we'll try to do some kind of exercise today. I mean, just for your understanding, like, let's say in my company, the FI module only there, FI module. Okay. Now, they have not implemented TRM module. Okay. Understand the thing? No TRM module being implemented. Now they ask you, the requirement is like, they wanted to do some investments and how you going to use your FI module to implement that? My question is, what are the advantages? What I'm trying to say here, how you identify what are the advantage or disadvantage of implementing TRM module? Let's say you have only the FI module in place. They've been asked, like, Amit, okay, tell me, I wanted to do investment. I don't have TRM. You use it FI module. How are you going to do that? Any idea? Let's say you basically, what are you going to do that? First of all, you need bank master, right? So when you're going to do that, you can first to create the bank master. So bank master anyway, it is available in FI, correct? No, guys, yes, no, anything?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what you is additionally need? You need currency of fixed deposit. That anyway you can do that. You can do it by which document currency, right? Document currency at the time of posting. Okay. What else you required? GL account, right? That is also you can do the fixed term fixed deposit GL, right? Then date of FD. Like I can say date of FD would be posting date of the GL account posting. Okay. Where are you going to, okay, I mean, see example, when you're going to create any investment or like fixed deposit, what the important things are there? It's called your rate of interest, your date of investment, your maturity of the investment, Correct? What else? Maturity date. Now I know bank master I can create. I can create one vendor master. Okay, let's say I create bank as a vendor master. Fine. Date of maturity I have, because there is no solution. You cannot enter the date of FD. Okay, date of FD is fine. Then what is the thing? Interest rate. Interest rate. Can you able to enter interest rate? Means standard. There is no possibilities. What do you have to do? You have to do this some kind of text, right? In the text you maintain interest rate in the standard text. Like if you go to the uh, F dash, okay, FB50. Let's say I'm going to do the investment via this. So here in this text only you have to mention, or not here, like what is the rate of interest. I mean, if there is no solution at all, text, then what is the thing? Maturity date. Can you able to maintain the maturity date into the system? No. Correct. So you can do this up to this one. Okay, interest rate. Somehow you mentioned that some other additional enhancement you've done. You mentioned the maturity date. Okay. But what are the problems you'll face it? Let's say you have not implemented TRM module. What are the things? In case, I'll try to do that. What are the limitations if we do not implement TRM module? So first is user manually has to create the accounting entry, right? Okay. At the time of investment, at the time of maturity, both the time they have to create. So how it is? At the time of investment and B at the time of maturity. Correct? No? In case you forget the maturity date, because what happened is I am mentioning into the text only. System will not tell me anything, right? After, on the maturity date, how do I remember? I may have to go and run the report and see anything is like that. So in case if you forget, gone. You cannot do anything. And all the investment you have to maintain manually. Okay. So the second thing would be, these are the limitations. Second limitation would be, in case user forget to make the entry. Is there any system to which will trigger? No, no, nothing. It is possible business user forget, like, maturity date is not there, you forget. Another important problem. So if you forget, it's gone. If the business user forget the maturity date to create an entry, then what will happen? No impact. I mean, system will not, find any subsequent postings. Correct. Another important problem is classification. Whether the investment is in within 360 days or below 660 days, whether it's a short term or long term, that classification, current versus non-current, you cannot see it into the system. Okay. Now we talk about the TRM module. Let's say TRM module, if we implement it, the first important thing would be posting to accounting would be automatically. Understand how it is automatically? Because we execute TBB1 and we use this particular job in the background, schedule the job in the background, and based on that, all the accounting entries would be posted. Now you may think, say, like, I can go with the GL account. No, you cannot do that. because this how it designed based on your deal. The system will do the accounting posting where you have feeded all the information. Same thing, you cannot do it using your uh, manual GL posting, because when you do the manual GL posting, you don't have the information readily available. You have to go and find it out. Okay, in the PDF or the contract, what is the date of, and you don't have the fields available. You cannot define what is the interest calculation method, what is the interest rate, what is the date of maturity, date of investment, all the details you cannot do it. So this is one of the advantage. Based on the, all the details, system will do this automatic posting. Okay, now even classifications also being done. Classifications can be done based on that. As I told you, I can do my investment in a way that whether it's in below 6 months or within 6 months or after, I mean, above 360, you can define your product category in a way, and based on that, it would be done. Okay, third point. So, month and activities. All these month and activities perform automatically. Okay, so, and these are the all, if we're talking about the, all this, these are the secondary. The most important thing, when you implement the TRM module, you have all the details. You have all the details to be feed in. You can, I mean, details can be incorporated in deal. Like, what is the investment? Now, let me show, if see that if I can create any. Okay, let's say, uh, 17 company code is not there. Okay. No, I cannot show you because I don't think there is an any details over there, because when I go and see, there is no business partner been created. Otherwise, I could have shown you. So when you're talking about the deal, we can feed all the information, like what is the interest rate, what is the date of investment, maturity date of the investment. All these details we can feed it into the in that TRM module under one deal. What is the house bank via which the payment would be done? Okay. What is the cash flows available into the TRM? Okay. Another important point. In FI module, when you do the investment, any accounting entry, so you basically do via the C things via the GL posting or accounting document where the debit credit posting happen. In TRM, we call it as a cash flow. We call it as a cash flow. So how the cash flow is happening, I tell you. I'll give you an example. Whenever you, let's say you do the investment. So I said investment in fixed deposit for 6 months. Let's say. So here the cash flow would be generated called investment increase. Okay, I said increase. So this is, and it would be positive investment increase, because when you do the investment, these are the one cash flow will generate it. We do not call it as an inside the cash flow, the accounting would be generated, but normally we'll call it as an, okay, I think this is spelling mistake. So these all come to know by cash flow. So in treasury, everything will, any transaction, whether it's an positive or if it is inflow, outflow, Anything we understand by the cash flows. Okay. So here, when you do the investment, your cash flow will get reduced. Correct. Your investment increase, but your cash flow will reduce. So it would be outflow. Then what happened at the time of maturity? Let's say after 6 months, maturity happened. So again, what is again? This flow would be investment, but here it would be inflow. So like that, there would be different. So here would be what is called, it is called investment maturity. So, so like that, the cash flow, based on the cash flow, we configured our system. So you understand what is the cash flow all about, how it is basically work once we configured our system. No? So guys, I think that's it for today. Or you want more discussion?
Sir, are you going to share that Excel file as well?
Yeah, yeah. No, Excel file, nothing I have written. If you see it here, definitely. Whatever the working note, I will normally share. I'll make it as an
Yeah.
documentation and I'll share it to you.
Mhm.
No worries for that.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, you all welcome. So actually today we just thought of, discussing the thing, what are the things, what are the advantage and all this thing. So let me know anybody has got any further questions, because maybe I have not reached to everybody's level or anything. So in case anybody did not understand what I'm trying to say, please ask your questions again if you have any questions remains.
Abhi, there is a question from Chilukuri Chandrasekhar asking like what sort of documentation we provide.
See, first of all, I will create a working documentations where I'll show you the step-by-step configuration details, like how the product type, what are the things we are using, what is the flow type, what is the update type. All the Excel we're going to provide. We'll create the documentation during the session only, and we'll share you the things. Make sense?
Yes.
I don't have a ready-made documentation. If ready-made documentation I wanted to start, I could have, you know, show that will not make sense. I will show you how to configure, and you have to follow me. In the Excel, I'll create and I'll share it to you. Based on that, you have to configure. I'm not going to provide you any ready-made documentations. Instantly, I'll create during the time of training, and that document, that Excel sheet, I'll be sharing to you all.
Okay, thank
Any
you,
other
Abhi.
question?
Mahesh,
Hi,
do you have any queries?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Abhi. This is Mahesh. In this training, how many products you covered in this? Suppose money market. In the money market, how many
I
instruments?
have
And
already shared the details to you all.
no, I am starting today only. That's why I don't know. That's why.
Okay, okay. Okay.
I will be sharing the
So I
content.
will, okay, okay, please share that here.
Yeah, could you share
That would
me
be
that
fine.
Yes,
previous
yes,
Yeah,
session?
yeah,
I will
yeah.
be sharing.
Yeah, I can
Yes,
understand what
yes.
is the procedures. Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
we'll discuss all the things. We'll talk about the, derivatives, securities, all the products.
No,
Like we
no.
talk about
Actually,
the
what
money
happened,
market.
yeah, in my previous, actually, I took some trainings summary. They
I know,
cover
I know,
some
I know.
little
You need
way.
not to tell me. I know
Yeah,
all the trainers in the market. You name it, I can
yes,
tell you.
yes, 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 yes.
That's the reason we
Uh,
are trying to do it all the things. I know they will try to manipulate. They will say that, well, we show you, and they will try to show it in a pre-configured system,
yes, yes.
isn't
They're
it?
showing only configurations first. They are going to business process last. We cannot understanding what is this,
Whom you
and
have taken the training?
they
Aditya
are
Chela?
a lot of the actually Adicha is I took Adicha and one
Okay.
guy
So
is the
first of all
Vikram
thing is,
Sotani.
okay, first of all, guys, as I told you, um, I already given a training, and my training qualities you all understand after taking all the things. So no need to worry. And if you're coming here for learning, I'd say give you guarantee. After completion of my course, all you can apply for the TRM job. This is my guarantee to you all.
Okay, fine. So you can cover like step by step, right? Suppose you can take one instrument,
Of
after
course,
instrument configuration and business process, then you can go to
correct.
second instrument,
First,
right?
I'll start with the business process.
Okay,
Then we talk about the accounting. Third, I'll
accounting.
go to the after you clear all the accounting process, and then I started configuring the system.
Okay, better.
Make
This is
sense?
good. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
Okay,
Any other
yeah.
questions, guys?
Srikant, I'll share you the details to your email. The duration of the course is actually 60 hours, 60 to 65. So, but maximum will be
Yes.
covering in 60 hours.
I try to, yeah, in case, I mean, that's the reason I'm saying that if I have to do that much of kind of configuration understanding, it will take time. So you have to bear with me. I'm not trying to do any shortcuts, guys. I'm not going to give you any configuration, pre-configuration documentation and do no, no, no. That is not my strategy.
Okay,
I
this
will
is
do the
weekdays.
configuration right here, right there, and share it. But
This
things
is
would be
week.
one more thing. TRM module is a kind of things you have to do the practice. Many time I've seen the people do not have a lack of practice. You cannot do that. If you do not think or you cannot do the practice, please don't join. Only listening to the TRM, it will not work. So guys, if you feel that you only listen to the videos, then you are not the appropriate candidate for the TRM. You have to do the practice. And literally, we all go, if you feel any issues, all the things, we'll see it. But you have to do the practice. Any other
Sana, this
question?
is yeah. This is classes like weekdays classes or only weekend you can conduct this session.
It is only the weekend classes and the timings, the schedule, everything I will be sharing through email, Mahesh. Okay?
So every weekend you can take only 1 hour, 1.5 hour session,
No,
or
no.
it
No,
will
no,
take
no, no,
more
no,
because it
no.
is 60 hours means we need to cover.
Yes,
It will
yes.
take more
We will
time.
be taking 2 to 2.5 hour session. Like every weekend, we
Correct.
will be covering 5 hours.
Okay, okay.
And may I have one more question regarding the timing? Like just in case I would like to join, we have in Bratislava 6:30, and if it would be possible at least to postpone for 1 hour.
Susana, could you answer that one?
Yeah, Lucia, let me just check with the other participants like yeah, who have already enrolled. So let me just check with them and confirm you on this part,
Yeah.
Lucy. Okay?
Okay, thanks. You know, only one
Teams,
hour
this is
because
only
it
for
is so
2 months.
early.
Yeah, yeah, I
Just
understand.
say
I know,
this is
but
only for
you
two
know,
months. So definitely, I know. In case if you can able to change, but if not, I mean, it's only for 2 months. You have to bear with me.
but at least for 30 minutes or 1 hour, you know, it is
Yeah, yeah.
not
We'll
so
see.
much. It's crazy.
Sure,
Sure,
sure.
sure, sure.
We
We'll
will
try
just
that.
check,
We'll do that.
Lucia. No problem on that part. Okay?
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're all welcome. Any other things?
Sana, will you provide this server for practice, or we need to take server
Yes,
from
yes. We
outside?
will be providing the server for practice.
This is for
Everything is included.
separate cost, or it is
No, no,
including
no.
in the fees?
Everything is included, and I'll be mentioning everything in the email. Okay, Mahesh?
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
One more question, I guess, from Srinivas. Sir, do we cover direct revision activate, dual control revision activate, workflow revision activate, review bank account yearly, view bank account reports, and fact sheets, perform and track bank transfers, approve and monitor bank payments, monitor bank
No,
statements, processing status, check
no,
cash
no,
reports?
no, 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 no. I mean, I can only do that. Bank statement, as you see it, FT, BSM. I will show you. It is for intraday. The question is basically Let's say if we implement the intraday bank statement, how the things should be coming. But guys, understand, workflow activations, everything. I try to show you whatever the possible ways, whatever the possible. Not you cannot expect like everything, but at least you have an BCM. You're talking about the BCM bank communication perspective point of view. I'll make you understand how the things are working, but you cannot expect everything in that. Means if you ask me how you going to get the status file, no, I cannot do that. Yes, but however, approval process, I will show you how the approval mechanism works. Okay, because in the bank communication management, you have only the two things. It's an approvals mechanism and the status file. And do not expect me to get the status file and load it and show it to you. No, because the status file you need, you know, right? You need some enhancement. The bank, whenever give the file, we have to do some kind of tweaking in the program so the file get loaded, and then it would be after it get loaded, it will be showing under the BNK money. So I'm not going to load the file because that kind of things I don't have, because you need a real file. I cannot show you. But yes, the status file again, it's a part of again doing having with the technical teams also to be placed. We cannot do the status file upload. No. Bank communication management, I'll give you whatever it should know where the config, how the things is working. F110 when you execute. After that, FBPM1, we have to separately execute so that payment batch would be created. All these details I'll be discussing and to show you practically. But bank statement review and all these things, see, if you want me to activate the workflow, again, I need some kind of workflow consultant. If something is wrong there, I needed two users. I'm not here to give you the, basically, we may need house bank to be configured, and when you go to the house bank configuration, that time I'll show you how the dual maintenance works. But don't expect me to create a workflow and then show it to you, because it is purely a TRM session. Banking details, again, that would be a part of workflow. I will show without workflow it how it will happen. With workflow, what are the things would happen. But do not expect me to do the end-to-end bank account management with the workflow configuration to you all. No, that is not possible. I'll keep my expectation very straightforward so that you should know what kind of things are there. If you need end-to-end and understanding, you please join some separate session for BCM. I'm only going to take care BCM what at most a consultant should know. Make clear?
Yes, Abhi. It's clear with Srinivas. Thank you.
Because see guys, I feel you all come here for TRM, BCM and cash management. Fine, you understand. But there is some kind of limitations as well. What we can do and what we cannot do. That's it what I am trying to say. Whatever I can do, I can show you all. Whatever I cannot do, I will explain to you all.
Okay, Abhi. Thank you so much. And guys, anyone has any queries yet? Otherwise, we can just conclude the call. And just wanted to tell you guys, we will be continuing the sessions from the next weekend due to Diwali. Okay. We will not be having the session tomorrow. So we will be continuing from the next Saturday. So, Abhi, I think
Okay.
we can conclude the
So the
session.
point here is, I just wanted to add you some point.
Yeah.
So whenever you go for the interview, your primary questions would be on the TRM point of view. I know they will ask you BCM. Yes, whatever way I'll be preparing you can able to clear all the interviews. BCM, you have to have cash management understanding. You have to have. You can do that. But I am not going to take care separately what is bank account management separately. Means definitely I'll show you via the Fury app how to activate those things. Create, because now you know that FI12. If you go to the FI12, you cannot go to the house bank, after the bank account, those things cannot be created. That would be done by the Fury app. So that I'll explain to you. So don't worry. If I'll explain whatever possible I way I can do that. Yes. For BCM, yes.
Hello, Abhi. I have one query regarding multi-bank connectivity. So I just wanted to know, BCM and MBC are interlinked or how it goes? Like,
See, multi-bank connectivity, SWIFT network, like BCM is basically promoting SWIFT networks. Okay. For the
okay,
multi-bank connectivity, see, bank connectivities again is a different areas. Like we do not do, we involve PIPO consultant for that. See, for us, what is the thing is required? Our FI consulting point of view, we create a payment file, and after we create the DME, we configure the payment file, our work is done. Now the security teams comes into picture, other technology teams come into picture to see that how the swift connectivity is all happening. Like in the PLPO, they will pick the file if they require some kind of, what is that called, encryption decryptions of the file, placing the file
okay,
to the correct server location. So from there, bank will pick the file. That all kind of activities we may see, but this is not the part of our activities. Correct.
okay,
So here the only point as a functional consultant, whatever, you know, when you discuss with the bank, the bank will tell you, let's say multi-bank connectivity or host, they will tell you, okay, I need the file to be placed here. They will give you some kind of location. PI team will
okay,
take the file and put it into the location. That's it.
okay.
So from there, bank will pick the file and make the necessary payment.
Fine.
So if you're talking about functional perspective, our job would be done once the file DME getting generated. DME generated. Okay. Any other question?
Okay.
So if not, I'm winding up the session here. And thank you everyone. Happy Deepavali. And yeah,
Thank
thank you.
you, Abhi. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And thank you.
Thank